legendary tennis coach who shaped the game of tennis by coaching numerous world number ones and Grand Slam champions, which includes the likes of Andy Roddick, the Williams sisters, Maddox Sands, and over hundreds of USTA national champions over the past 40 years. He's a Hall of Famer based in Florida. Please welcome Mr. Rick Macci. So, Rick, thank you so much for your time today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. I just jumped off the court, so it'll be a lot of fun and we'll go over a lot of stuff.
Okay, so where are you based right now? In your academy?
I'm in
Beautiful academy.
no, I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, Rick Macci Tennis Center, South County Regional Park, and I teach 7 days a week. And if anybody wants to find me, I'm on court number one. So if they come by, they can watch and we'll take a picture together.
When do you take a time off? What are your weekends then? 7 days a week on the court?
No, I teach 7 days a week. I have for a long time. I'm fortunate. I still have as much passion as I did when I started at 22 years old, and I still teach 50 hours a week. And the weekend, I'm usually done by 12. But what's interesting, I start at 5 in the morning,
Okay.
and I get up every day at 1. Like someone asked me, they go, "Why do you get up so early?" And I said, well, 12 o'clock's a little too early, but I get up at 1 o'clock and I'm doing Zoom videos, people in India, Belarus, Germany. So that's even before I get on the court.
Okay.
So I know you're going, what time do you go to bed? I usually go to bed like 7, but I'm up every day at 1. And I love being on the tennis court. And like I said, I have just as much passion as I did when I started. And it doesn't really matter who I'm teaching, whether it's someone on the pro tour or even if I gave you a lesson, it'd be my favorite lesson of the day.
Okay. So you're as curious as you were 50 years ago, let's say.
There you go.
Yeah. So wonderful, wonderful to have you here once again on the show. And we have something going around r- across the ocean from you. So the Olympics. Are you excited for that?
Yeah, it's very different. It's not like a grand slam,
Hmm.
even though for the guys it's like a 1,000 event. If you look at the field, it's star-studded. All the top players are in there except now Sinner because he had tonsillitis. But no, at the end of the day, it's a big thing because a while back, tennis wasn't even involved in the Olympics. It was more like the team stuff, and tennis has just kind of gotten into it. But to play for your country, even though it's an individual situation, it's an amazing thing for the players to experience, just the camaraderie, the atmosphere. And let's face it, if you can win a medal
Yeah.
and that's on your resume the rest of your life, that's a big achievement. I mean, a grand slam, that's like a pinnacle, but there's something about an Olympic medal that changes everything, the way you feel and how you're just remembered by a lot of people.
And for you personally, what are your earliest, fondest memories of the Olympic Games? I'm sure you must have seen numerous Olympic Games. So, what are your some fondest memories?
Um, well, we're going way back in time. I remember the U.S. basketball team, which was always dominant, they got beat by Russia back in the day when people thought everybody was cheating and stuff like that. But I think the main thing that I always like watching is the gymnastics. I think all of us are just blown away by the athleticism, you know, and how these people can jump and hop and skip and bounce and then land on balance. It's like people always go, how do they do that? How do they do that? And people don't understand how much time and effort and dedication goes
Yeah.
in just for maybe that 1 minute every 4 years. That's what people don't understand. It's a moment in time. So I love watching the gymnastics just because I like athleticism. So it's just special, just because politics aside, everybody comes together and it's all about competition and fun and camaraderie.
Speaking about gymnastics, Simone Biles, will you be following her?
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to follow her because she jumps so high. She defies gravity. She's like a human jackrabbit with a smile. She's a human pogo stick. And people, they don't understand. You got to have talent and you got to have the genetics, okay, and you got to have the hard work,
Yeah.
but it's kind of what you do with it. There's a lot of people that have a lot of things,
Hmm.
but they don't realize how much hard work goes into this. You know, all they do is turn on their TV set and they're blown away. It's what happens behind the scenes and the dedication it takes to be able to do what she's doing. But no, I love watching her. She's like everywhere. I love it.
And speaking about your dearest pupil, Venus and
Wait,
Serena,
wait, what'd you say?
your dearest pupils, Venus and Serena, and they are like legend even on the Olympic track. Like 5 gold medals, Venus, 5 medals, sorry, Venus, and 4 medals, Serena. As someone you knew them since they were kids, why do you think they turned around the goats? They turned out to be goats even on the Olympic track.
Listen, people have to understand Richard and Orsine,
Hmm.
they hit the genetic jackpot with these two girls. If you notice, their body types were very different. Venus was like an Olympic sprinter, no pun intended, with a racket in her hand, and Serena was almost like built very differently. But they were both big, strong, fast, quick. But as we know, everything is from one ear to another. It's a game of inches, mentally so strong. And that was kind of baked in double crispy when I got involved at age 9 and 10, which everybody saw in the movie King Richard. So I just had to put Humpty Dumpty together. I just had to put the technical and the environment and give them the opportunity. They were bulletproof, and they changed the game. Now, as far as the Olympics, you know, they just love to compete. It didn't matter Olympics, Grand Slam, regular tournament, two of the best competitors of all time. And what I tell a lot of people, if there wasn't Serena, Venus might have 20 some Grand Slams. Remember, when they played each other, Serena won 19 and Venus 12. No one beat Serena as much as
Yeah.
Venus. They played 31 times. That's a lot, you know? But what people have to understand, two peas in a pod, two sisters like no other. You realize all the things that could have went wrong with that? Jealousy, boyfriends, money. I mean, same family, sharing the same bedroom. I mean, there's a lot of things involved there. And that's why you got to give the parents a lot of credit, you know, with how that was put together. But no, they're like my own daughters. They still are to this day. And we might be doing a project here in the new future called the Phenom Maker that maybe we'll do another podcast on that. But no, two of the best competitors. And remember, they were 14-0 in Grand Slams playing doubles together. If they would have played more doubles, they probably could have won 50, and they could have won mixed doubles. But you know, you are contenders in singles, so you got to eat and sleep and go to the bathroom. You got to do all these other things. You can't play mixed doubles and then doubles. A lot of times they would pull out. They would have busted so many more records on top of the records they have. But Serena is the GOAT, and people ask me all the time, it's not because I coached them. I still think Venus is the second greatest player of all time, simply because even though she only won 7 Grand Slams, and people usually measured on that, 5 Wimbledons, no one beat the GOAT more than Venus. People forget how good Venus was, you know? And so at the end of the day, it's something the world has never seen, and you might not ever see that again. It's the sports story of the century that we've never seen, two from the same family. But I love Venus and Serena.
Even if they're away from the game, continue to inspire so many people all around the world, Black women. Speaking about a beautiful Coco Gauff, last year won her first Grand Slam, New York. It was a huge honor, big achievement for time. And this year, a few days ago, she was felicitated with a huge honor alongside the legend LeBron James to carry the U.S. USA flag. How did you react to that story, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, you're kind of cutting out a little bit, but I think I got most of the question. Listen, I love Coco Gauff. Her little brother is in our academy. He's 10 years old. He's the number one high school quarterback in the United States of America for football. This is an athlete. You think Coco is a great athlete? I've never seen, since I've been doing this my whole career, an athlete like Cameron Goff, her little brother. I mean, he's going to be amazing in whatever sport, and he's a pretty darn good tennis player. He's an unreal athlete. But Coco's the real deal. She's an Olympic sprinter with a racket in her hand. Her backbone is better than her backhand. One of the best competitors on the tour. She's an unreal competitor, but for her to be carrying the flag, the first tennis player, and then to be able to do this with LeBron James, I mean, this is a whole nother level. And that whole family has so much gratitude and appreciation. I love the whole family. What a great opportunity for Coco. Not only did to play in the Olympics and be the number 2 seed, but to represent your country at such a young age. I mean, if you think about it, a year ago, a little over a year ago, she lost first round at Wimbledon. And then she got on a tear in the summer, won those tournaments, won the U.S. Open, flipped the script. Her whole world has changed. A year later, not only does she have a Grand Slam, and just so many endorsements, now she's carrying the flag. So the message to anybody hearing us, it's always not where you start, it's where you finish. And it's never over till you quit. Don't get too high, don't get too low, because here we are a year later, and Coco is definitely the flavor of the month.
Beautifully articulated. So, since you mentioned about her brother, I would like to ask something about Kodak. As the pure athlete you coached, you recently called him that, and he's already making giant strides in baseball. And just like Venus and Serena, which quality impressed you the most in him?
You mean in Cameron Golf?
Yeah.
Yeah, first off, I just never seen any 10-year-old. He's the fastest 10-year-old I've ever seen. He'll walk off the street and he can win a track event. He's so fast. He's so athletic. It's unbelievable. And he's going to be a big, big boy because his dad's big. But he already has the speed and quickness, agility, mobility, flexibility. And on top of that, great attitude and a tenacious competitor already. He's playing tennis with not a lot of instruction, but he gets to every ball. He goes 100 miles an hour. I never saw anybody move like this. Kind of like I said about Alcaraz 3.5 years ago before he became Alcaraz, turbo speed from outer space like the world has never seen. Once he hits that other gear, then you have options. This is what I see with Cameron Goff. This kid, I've never seen movement like this. But I don't know if he'll play tennis. His dad wants him to play all sports. But listen, whatever he decides to do, he's definitely going to be a pro because he's wired for greatness. And listen, when your dad plays college basketball and your mom was a track star, and like for me to make that statement, and I've had so many great athletes, men and women, I never saw anything like this little boy. And that's nothing against anything else. An unbelievable athlete. It's the movement. Because people don't understand. If you look at Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Murray, Alcaraz, Sinner, the cornerstone is movement. If you can't move, you can't deliver the mail. If you can't move, you're going to have a different option when you get there. Maybe the rest of the world's getting it back or lobbing where they have more time to hit a quality shot. So, and the game is so fast. So the movement is what I see. But it's not just, they can move. I've never seen anything like this little boy. And if he chooses pro tennis, who knows? He's probably going to be 6'4", 225. But he'll be able to move and move around the court like a LeBron James. Could you imagine LeBron James if he'd have went into tennis? I think with the right coaching, I could have made him number one in the world. But I think he made the right decision. I think he made the right decision, but that's the type of athlete Cameron Gauff is. Very freaky athlete, one of a kind.
So let's go, the Goff family. Speaking about women American players on the tennis side, it's extremely strong right now. But like 15 women out of the top 15 women on the WTA roster, five of them are. How do you rate the chances of winning a gold medal when when there are dominant forces like Ika on the other side?
Yeah, listen, I think everybody else is, I don't want to say a pretender, okay, but Iga is, the real contender, especially on clay, especially at Roland Garros, because her grip on the forehand's extreme. She needs a little more time. That's why she's always stumbled a little bit on grass, okay, because that's the ball squirts through the court, so her contact point is a little late. So what happens then? You lose confidence. Other people get confidence. It's a different animal. But she mentally is the best. And on clay, is she beatable? Yes. Okay, but you got to beat her. She's not going to beat herself unless she would get nervous or whatever. So I think it's her gold medal, okay, in the Olympics, and it's really in her hands. And I think she caught a break that it's being played on clay. If it was on grass or really fast court, then it might be more of a jump ball. But the fact that it's on clay, she's definitely the one to beat. And confidence breeds confidence, and she's probably going, there's no place like home. So she's going to be tough for anybody.
Also, Daniel Collins. The fact that he's on the tour, unfortunately.
You're cutting out just a little bit.
Yeah, Daniel Collins.
Yeah, listen, Daniel, listen, people got to understand, once again, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. I'd love to see her, break through because she has the firepower. She can hurt you. And those are the people that can hurt Iga, even on clay, like Osaka had match point and hit 52 winners on clay. So you got to be able to hurt her, and you got to be having fun, your best day of your life, swinging free, and just going for it. And Collins has that type of game, okay, even on clay. So any big hitter can beat Iga even on clay. If you're consistent, she has too much time to jockey for position. It ain't going to happen. But Collins has the capability. Anybody that hits clean off the ground. I don't know if Rybakina is still playing. I don't know about that. Anybody that can hit through her.
Rybakina.
Okay. Anybody that has firepower has a chance. You got to win free points on your serve. You got to win free points on the ground stroke. You got to make Iga uncomfortable so you can get comfortable. But as we both know, easier said than done.
Doubles is also rather overlooked section. America has some strong contenders on the men's and the women's side. And the mixed double section as well. Taylor and Coco, they are up. What do you think about the chances of America?
I think it's a higher probability of Coco's playing with Pegula, right?
Yeah. Also,
I think, yeah, they're the favorite. Listen, in my mind, they'd be the favorite. But here's another thing. It depends on singles. How far you go in singles. There's rest. There's a time element. You could overplay. There's fatigue. It's like a grand slam. There's other mitigating factors where some people might just be playing doubles and they're doubles specialists. So that goes into the equation. But my pick is I think Coco and Pegula, Jessica, I think that's my pick to win the gold. No question. They've been number one in the world, and they can beat anybody, anytime, anywhere, and why not at the Olympics?
speaking about the dominance of American women on the track, Except for the year 2006, they have made it to the finals of Grand Slams every year. Whereas on the men's side, besides Andy Roddick, we did not have any world number one or a Grand Slam champion. So Tommy Paul, Taylor Fritz, Ben Shelton have been able to perform well at the ATP 500 levels, but they have failed to, mark their presence at a Grand Slam final. Do you think American tennis players, the male tennis players, have a chance to win a Grand Slams?
Absolutely. And I've said this before. Tommy Paul, okay, and Taylor Fritz, and even though he's kind of been forgotten, Sebastian Korda. I've always said Sebastian Korda, in my opinion, is the most talented. He's had injuries, he's kind of been a little bit in and out, but he can make you uncomfortable just because of his versatility. Now, he's not in there. He's still one of the top 30 players. But those three, in my opinion, are a cut above. Paul has proven himself a little bit on a lot of the surfaces. So can they win it? Yes. But I think it's going to have to take a little bit of help. The good thing is Federer went out the door. Rafa went out the door. Murray went out the door. Djokovic could be going out the door. So now you got Alcaraz, you got Sinner, Medvedev's always going to be a little tougher to beat, and Zverev. But Medvedev and Zverev, those guys can beat those two. So things would have to break, like maybe an injury, a good draw, a deep, if something breaks, all of a sudden you're kind of sliding into the semis. And then you only have to win one or two matches to get to the final. Where before you were playing these guys in the quarters or round of 16. And then when you go 3 out of 5, that's a different animal. People, the world has to understand 2 out of 3, because it's bang, bang, bang. Anything can happen in men's tennis because it's powerful, it's quick, big serves. 3 out of 5, the mental part. That's why you've seen back in the day, Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic, you could almost mail it in, they're going to be in the semis. You know what I mean? So 3 out of 5 becomes more of a mental battle. But all that being said, if things break the right way, I can see those guys grabbing 1, maybe 2. But then when I look at Alcaraz and Sinner, I have no doubt they're going to have a bucket full, and both of them will definitely be double-figure Grand Slams. Right now, those are the 2 chosen ones.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the next of the big 3? Will it be Zverev or Medvedev? Medvedev's not going anywhere, okay? He's been very consistent. You know what I'm saying? And there might be a new person come in, because when you have Alcaraz and Sinner pushing the envelope, Alcaraz is not only changing the way you play the game, he's changed the way you teach the game. Because all the versatility, the drop shot from outer space, he's changing a lot of things. And what that does, it makes everybody work harder, more motivated, and that's what competition does. It just rises everybody to the top. And what's scary, barring injury, Alcaraz and Sinner might end up playing 50 to 60 times before this is all over. And by the way, Nadal and Federer have played each other, Nadal and Djokovic have played each other, I think, 59 times. How crazy is that?
Mm-hmm.
We get lost in the number. 59 of anything's a lot, let alone looking on the other side of the net at some guy. People forget that because we're all in the moment.
So maybe for the 60th time, fingers crossed, at the Olympics, they might get the second round.
Yeah, that'd be must-see TV. It would be must-see TV. It'd be one, like the cherry on top of the ice cream. Obviously Djokovic would be the one to be favored to win if they get there. But that would just be, what a way to put a bow around something that's become more than epic.
And good to know, you have high thoughts for the new generation, Alcaraz. Medvedev, not really the new generation one, but the consistent one. How how do you portray them? How well they have taken the baton from the big three of tennis, including Stan Wawrinka and Murray, the big five of tennis.
Wait, say that again. I quite couldn't hear
Like
you.
how well they have taken that baton from them.
How long? How much have they learned from
Yeah,
them?
how
Or
well they have, how well they have like,
wait, you're kind of cutting out. I'm sorry.
yeah, how well they have taken that baton from them. The skills, their tenacity, and everything. How they
Oh,
absorb.
absolutely, and that's what life's all about. You want to get better, you want to get smarter, you learn from people better and smarter. That's what you want to do, and that's what competition does. Everybody's going to get quicker and faster and stronger. That's the nature of sports. Everything. There's more sports science. There's more taking care of your body. So the athlete overall is better. The technology is better, more power, with the strings and racket. And then you look at greatness, how they handle mistakes, how they flip it in their mind, how they behave after failure. And that improves your mental toughness. So what they do is they copy greatness, imitate greatness, and then they ratchet it up another notch. And then the people watching them ratchet up. So it just keeps escalating. A lot of the ball speeds are over 100 miles an hour. Where if you look at video from 15 years ago, it looks like they're playing in slow motion, even though they're not. So no, they've learned a lot, and what I like a lot about Alcaraz and Sinner is the humility. You know, the humility, the appreciation, the respect of the game, and I think when you have your feet on the ground like that, that's another little nugget of how do you handle pressure better.
And speaking about two other young ace athletes from the United States of America, Ben Shelton and Francis Tiafoe. They have they are not participating in Paris Olympics 2024, unfortunately. But do you think their absence has reduced the chances of medal for United States in tennis?
Wait, you Shelton and
Yeah,
Tiafo, do they have a chance for a medal?
like they're not participating. So the men's tennis, it's a big.
Yeah, listen, that's a choice. They're both playing in Atlanta this weekend. Shelton, he lost first round. Tiafo, I think, still alive. It's a choice, that people make. Maybe they think they'll have other opportunities to play. I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, even though it's like you're selected on a team to play. Uh, I don't think they were selected to play. I don't think anybody can just play. You know what I mean? They weren't selected. I think the Americans that you pointed out earlier were selected. And, Ben's young. He'll have plenty of time. Same with Francis. So at the end of the day, should motivate them to work harder, get better. And if that's a goal of them, maybe someday they'll be on the Olympic team. Because I think it's a tremendous honor to play for your country. It's just something different that you'll never experience in your life. And if you get a chance, you should definitely be able to take advantage of it.
Speaking about the young player whom we spoke about, Coco, she won the US Open last year. But after winning the US Open, she just won one tournament in January. And after that, like she had a pretty decent run at the Australian Open, I would say, semi-final loss to Sabalenka. But what is going wrong with her and with the hard court swing coming like in the next few weeks? Do you think her resurgence to form could be on the cards?
First off, I love this question. Now, you got to remember there's a fine line between winning and losing. She loses first round at Wimbledon. Okay? Then in the hard courts, she had a lot of Houdini escapes and she won a tournament. Then more Houdini escapes, close matches, wins a tournament. Even the US Open, she almost lost first round. The night, on Ash Stadium, opening ceremony, she almost lost, you know, and she ends up winning the tournament. Confidence breeds confidence. You take the ball a little earlier, maybe you move a little quicker, You believe a little bit more. Confidence is a fleeting thing in all walks of life, business, sports, anything. But at the end of the day, I've always looked at Coco. She's a great competitor, amazing foot speed, a backhand like a bullet, great serve. A second serve can be a little dodgy. Her slice serve's trending like Serena. I think her slice serve is one of the best out there. But her forehand has always been a little suspect. I've actually talked to her dad. We might do something someday to teach her the ATP forehand. But that would mean 6 weeks off, reconstructive surgery. You got to go in the operating room, break it down microscopically. She has a big swing. She has a severe grip, which is okay. But I'd want to rewire the whole thing. Her forehand is heavy and it's relaxed, but it's also a liability. But she's so good in other areas. Even when she won all these tournaments, the forehand was maybe a little better because of confidence, in my opinion. Okay? But it's always going to be there. It's not like Sabalenka's forehand, okay? Or Rybakina's forehand, or Pegula's forehand. But then again, they're not as fast as her, and they're maybe not sometimes as mentally strong as her. So to be great, okay, you can't have a lot of weaknesses, okay? But she has enough to win Grand Slams and be one of the best players in the world. But as a coach, I always look at it differently. What if? What if you had this? I mean, if she had Federer's forehand or Djokovic's forehand, she'd be sitting here with 5 or 6 Grand Slams already because she's so good in other areas. Now, maybe on hard courts, the footing's a little better. She gets more value. I think she's good on anything because of her movement, her foot speed, but the forehand is the forehand. It's never going to be her best shot. And unfortunately, the last time I looked, you hit more forehands and backhands than any other shot in tennis. Those are the 2 big ticket items. But she's still good enough. Here I am chirping, and she's 20 years old or whatever, and she's 2 in the world. But that shows you how good she is and what a great athlete she is. But will she do better? Yeah. But nothing surprises me because there's a fine line between winning and losing. But if she did change the forehand, okay, and took a step back, I think the best is yet to come for Coco Gauff.
Since Coco is traveling a lot, 10 months a year, 11 months a year, she's on the tour, flights to flights, hotel to hotel, tennis court to tennis court. How often do you get to meet her, teach her, talk to her about her game?
Well, I've really never talked to her about her game. Even though they were here a few months ago, she did a UPS commercial at the academy. Okay, a UPS. No one delivers better like UPS and Coco. So they both deliver, UPS and Coco. So no, we work with her little brother who's 10, and I see the dad now and then and talk to him. But they already have their team. They have their stuff. They know if they want to flip the script, okay, and do reconstructive surgery. Myself and my partner, Dr. Brian Gordon, who has his PhD in biomechanics, okay, we could change this, but it's not that easy. A lot of muscle memory, you got to take time off. You got to do it in the off season. So listen, at the end of the day, I think she's doing pretty darn good, but I look at it always from a coaching point of view. Could it be better? And the only way it could be better, it's not a footwork thing or a strategy thing or a motivational thing or a work ethic thing. It's a biomechanical thing that I feel could be better. And when you got to change muscle memory when you're 20 years old, it's tricky. But if the people doing the reconstruction knows what's going on, it could happen quick, and it'd be the best thing ever for her.
She will catch the United States flag to a few hours from now. So this moment will inspire the budding tennis players and budding athletes in United States, all the young girls and
Absolutely. That's what the Olympics is all about. You know, you get this moment in time where the world, all these great athletes come together, and you don't really get a lot of time to watch a lot of different sports. And it's right there on TV for everybody to see. And one word, one effort, one child, one performance, of a kid 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years old, it changes your whole world. It's so powerful, to change the course of your life or the way you go about working it. You talk about like motivation. When you turn on your TV, you're getting the best motivational speaker and doer by looking at all these sports. And those people you see on your TV, they were you one day looking at their TV, watching someone else. But you don't look at it like that. You just look at them like they're amazing. But they were right where you were back in the day watching TV of other people. And if you can dream it, you can do it.
I have some non-tennis questions for you. Do you think the epic duo of LeBron James and Steph Curry will be able to bring home the gold medal for USA?
Absolutely. I think first off in basketball, USA basketball should never lose, in my opinion. But I think it's a tribute, just like the game of tennis. It's so global. There's people from little countries or whatever. It's like, whoa. In the United States, we got all these people, and like you said, no Grand Slams in like 25 years for the men. They should, but it's a testament to other countries how USA basketball has elevated the world. If you're an athlete, why can't you be an athlete in Sudan or Germany or all these other countries have athletes and you practice? So the US has kind of inspired the rest of the world. But all that being said, basketball is a little trickier. It's not individual, it's a team. And being a team is much different than just having the 5 best players, on the team. But at the end of the day, they should win the gold. They're expected to win the gold. And my bet is they will win the gold.
Who is the best?
And by the way, I love basketball. Back in the day, I'm in the Hall of Fame for basketball and tennis in my high school. So I love basketball as a point guard. So that question's not out of bounds. We could talk basketball all day.
Amazing to know that. I don't follow basketball much, so my is not so yours. So whom do you think the best on the Olympic performance?
I couldn't hear you. Kind of cut out again.
Who do you think is the best American athlete purely based on the Olympic performance?
Who should people look at for?
No. In your opinion, who do you think is the best American athlete?
Yeah, I can't hear you. You keep cutting out like more now.
Okay, sorry. Who do you think is the best American athlete?
Who's the best American athlete? Well, to me, that's easy. Even at 40 years old, it's LeBron James, okay, on the men's side. I mean, you look at the quality of his production at 40 years old and still going strong. Notice who they give the ball to at the end of the game. People don't realize his height, 6'8", and his weight and how nimble and agile and mobile he is. You know what I'm saying? So by far, he's the best athlete on the men's side. And to me, there's no comparison. It's Coco. It's Coco. And when she plays, everybody goes loco for Coco. So she is the best athlete. She is the best athlete by far. And she could have done track and field. Trust me, she's a bullet. And remember, her mom was an All-American sprinter at Florida State.
Thank you so much, Rick Macci, for your time. It was a pleasure talking to you once again. I hope we get to exchange this pretty often in the upcoming few years, and I don't know how many
No,
up until eternity.
yeah, no, I'll definitely get some time to watch. I can always watch it at 1 or 2 or 3 in the morning when I get up. So I got plenty of time before I go to work. But no, it was nice seeing you again and meeting, and we'll do it again.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good one.
Okay, bye.